Hello ghouls and hello ghosties and welcome to Haunt Hunt episode number 3. Can you believe that we're on number 3 already? Like, it's literally, the third week of July and we're on Haunt Hunt number 3? I mean, I guess that makes sense, but it blows my mind at the same time. So I picked a very, very random location to film the intro today. I just thought that it was fitting to have these right over my shoulder, and I actually do have a crow. I got a crow. A dirty crow. So today, before we jump into it, I had a couple things I want to tell you guys, but I will keep it pretty brief. And that is that we have a few future code orange alerts coming up this week that I am thinking will be in this haunt hunting video. First up, we have been informed by Target that they are going to have their hide and eek boutique pieces being at least shown online on the 14th. I think you may be able to buy at least some of the pieces as well if it's like last year. So last year I think that they did this on the 15th or the 16th. This year it's on the 14th, which is Monday, I think. I have anticipation for it. I'm not going to say like positive or negative because I don't really know how to feel. If you were here with us last year, you'll know that hide and eek Target stuff was not my vibe last year, though usually in past years Target has been one of my favorite places to haunt hunt. So I got a 50-50 on the mind for that one. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. We will just see together. But otherwise, we can also expect that Home Depot is going to be announcing / releasing / previewing their stuff this week. So all that we know from Home Depot as of now is that the week of the 15th, so in other words, this next week, they're going to be releasing their stuff. We don't have a specific date yet, though I'm in all the HALLO-WIN Facebook groups, I'm in all of the Home Depot groups, so I will find out and I will tell you as soon as I know, but that is also coming up this week. Also, Bath & Body Works should be coming soon. I remember last year, Bath & Body Works was like the day before or the day after Home Depot. So I will also tell you guys that when I get any updates on that too. But that is all I want to tell you guys quick so you know what to expect in this haunt hunting. Otherwise, we're going to HomeGoods, we're going to Marshall's, we're going to TJ's, we're going to At Home, we're going everywhere. And I'm so pumped. So let's jump into the actual haunt hunting. Thank you, Jack, for that marvelous introduction.
Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction.
I'm sorry I had to do that. Hi, how are you? It is now, right now, as I'm filming, the 10th of July, and we're starting off a new episode of Haunt Hunting. So I'm very, very, very excited for the upcoming events and upcoming dates that Jack from At Home just told you guys about. But today, obviously those things are not happening yet. So today we're gonna recheck the Joann Fabrics that we first saw stuff at this year. Now this was actually the first place, period, this year that I saw anything. So it has a little special place in my heart this year. And I'm excited to get back. I haven't been there in like over a week. And that has so far been the Joann Fabrics that's like the farthest along. So we're going there right now. Otherwise, that might honestly be all that we have today, just unless, of course, we stumble into like a HomeGoods or something. We are like, just yesterday, I wrapped up the last haunt hunt and the HomeGoods were like, they're not moving quick is what I will say. The HomeGoods, the TJs and the Marshalls, especially TJs and Marshalls, do not have much out currently. I think this next week and this video is going to be the big boom for those stores, but not yet today. So I think today is just Joann's. Otherwise, we got a lot of really, really good haunt hunting coming this week. I am so excited for this week's haunt hunt. Like, this is gonna be a big one. I can just already tell with Home Depot, with HomeGoods, with At Home. Like, I think we've got some good stuff coming this week, and I'm like nail biting excited. Like, I'm so pumped. So let's go to Joann Fabrics now, and otherwise we'll see if we end up anywhere else today, but if not, you guys will be moving on to the next day with me right after. Ghouls and ghosties, ghouls and ghosties. This is like a couple minutes after the last clip you just saw. So Home Depot, just before I started driving, posted a sneak kind of preview hint at the product launch. So I knew it was gonna be, as I said in the intro, the week of like the 15th. but it looks like it is going to be the 18th of July that they're actually releasing everything. They just posted, and I'll put it like right here, that the products will be actually launching on the 18th. So I think usually that means the preview is the day before. So honestly, for this haunt hunt, the preview of Home Depot may be the kind of finale and the end of this episode. We will definitely see how timing goes and everything, but I'm thinking Home Depot will be in either the end of this haunt hunt or in the beginning of the next. But y'all, I'm so excited. They're hinting that there's a bunch of new stuff, which of course, like, we knew that was coming. So far we've seen that there's like the 12-foot Inferno tree, there's like an evil haunted tree, there's a Frankenstein, I think there's gonna be a Nosferatu, which I'm super pumped about. I don't know what to expect from them. As I've said in the past, for some reason when I buy animatronics, it always ends up being from Home Depot, and that's not because I have some kind of like bias or like loyalty to them. They just seem to have the ones that I do like nothing against Spirit, nothing against Lowe's. Of course, like, I would buy from them if they had one that I really wanted, but for some reason I end up with Home Depot usually, and I have not been interested in anything I've seen all year so far from any place. So we will see, but I'm so freaking pumped. Anyways, that's the end of our little code orange. I just had to come in here and say that to you guys. Let's go to Joann Fabrics now, like we were gonna do. Alrighty, Joann Fabrics up first. Let's see if there's anything new today. I could tell that the aisle was a bit more full than last time, though I wasn't seeing a ton of new pieces, though there were a few, like this ghost hugging a wine bottle. You guys know I like wine and I like ghosts, so I'll probably pick this up at some point, but I didn't buy it today. They also had these outdoor stickers of bats and spiders that were pretty cool, and then there were a few new mats, some rubber, and some kind of that prickly hay type material. Joann also had these dangling ghosts. They were made of ceramic. They were very cute, not something that I will be picking up, but I do like them. I feel like we've maybe seen them a few years, and we also have seen these for a few years, but I'm obsessed with these. I love these solar light jack-o'-lanterns. I have quite a few of them. This aisle was a whole new aisle. They had moved some stuff here, but some was new. There was, of course, some classic long leg spiders and spider web and cheesecloth. There were some larger light up ghost pieces, and of course a lot of skeletons. There was also these squishy stress relief pieces. They had a lot of light up jack-o'-lanterns, of course, and they had these tiny little like sequin bottles that look like potion bottles. I don't know if these are just supposed to sit out as decor or if you actually use what's inside. They had a lot of very odd skeletons too, like this pig and this dog with a bone, and they had some ducks too. This is kind of their imitation of the At Home black cat on a jack-o'-lantern, though I do like the At Home one more. And then I hadn't seen these crystal skull candle stands. Those were really pretty. These colors wouldn't work for anything for me. This was probably my favorite color, this kind of gray, but they just wouldn't fit in with anything that I have. For some reason, I was so drawn to this light up jack-o'-lantern. He just has the perfect face and the perfect coloration, and he's the perfect size. They also had a larger version. Something about him I just loved. Good afternoon, ghouls and ghosties. Coming to you live from the... from the parking lot of HomeGoods, Grand Central Station HomeGoods, if you are familiar. This, of course, has been our most successful, most kind of like lucky HomeGoods location so far, so I have high hopes. And then after this, we are going to go to At Home because that is quite close to here. Of course, I don't really have high hopes for At Home, but I would love to find good things at Home. So we're gonna go into HomeGoods, then we'll go to At Home, and then we actually might have another HomeGoods and maybe a Marshall's after that. So let's go. I could tell right away there was a lot more in this HomeGoods that I hadn't seen yet this year. We had this skull with some kind of crown going on her head. There was this new witch's hat that was made of ceramic and these gold metal bugs that I think you hang up on your wall. There was also this giant cauldron that was very heavy duty and it had a snake going around it. We had a cloche with some bats flying in it that I really liked. There was also this other large cauldron and a couple more bat metal pieces, and then there was a skull stack made of metal too. I didn't really like the look of the skulls there, but it's pretty cool. This was another metal piece, a spider bowl. We see a lot of those each year in slightly different variations. And then there was this kind of wicker witch's hat. I guess you'd maybe use as a fruit bowl or something. This all seemed to be the same stuff we saw the first couple times we came. Lots of large skulls, plush jack-o'-lanterns, stacks of skulls, some snow globes. There were also these bedazzled pumpkins that I think were here last time. They had a new spooky cake. This one was pink with black frosting and it had some ghosts on top. They also had these mirrors that had skulls on them. I definitely still prefer the At Home metal mirror to these ones. This was a very bedazzled skull. There were lots of those with all kinds of pearls and all kinds of gems. We had some glittery bats that you hang up on kind of a chain. Another mirror. Howdy. This whole stand was a lot of the pink stuff, so I wasn't seeing much that I was liking, but there was this whole other aisle of spooky stuff. There were these sequin fang and lips pillow that I don't think I had seen before. A very glittery, sequiny bat pillow. I don't feel like that would be very comfortable to use this one. It must just be decor. There was this more pastel ghost pillow, and then a lot more classic color Halloween pieces, which of course I love. Though a lot of this was kind of goofy, kind of metal pieces that I'm not a fan of. They kind of seem like they're trying to go for folk, but it's not a folk style that I'm into. It seemed like all of these folk metal pieces were the same price, about $15. Some might have been $20, especially the bigger piece like that cat up there. And then this guy with his little drinking booth. There were many different variations from this collection, and unfortunately not a single one really fit my style. A lot of their wood pieces were really nice this year. A lot of these aged wood pieces are my favorite. Like this aged wooden bat bowl, really nice looking. And this witch hat, I love that green color on it. And this ghost was really cute too. I didn't have a ton to say about this stuff on these top two shelves because I feel like we've seen all of this stuff basically every single year. Like this Frankenstein candle, it's usually popular each year, and of course all of these book boxes are here every year. Something new this year, I think, are these ceramic, small, kind of pottery looking haunted houses. There's actually quite a few different pieces, so you could almost make like a village. There was this ghost sign, and behind it was a snake mirror. Now, if you didn't want to get the ghost mirror and you wanted to save some coin, you could definitely get the snake mirror from HomeGoods. I went over to the dinnerware and kitchen section and they still had their end stand going. They had added more witch plates, and this is the sorcerer plate from 2024. Unfortunately, this is not one I'm going to be adding to my witch plate collection. I don't really like the sorcerer graphic. They had some center of table chargers as well, including the bat and pumpkin one that I got a couple years ago. They even had it in a new colorway. Now, I didn't take a separate clip talking to you guys to tell you this, but we had a definite code orange situation going on at Home. They had added a lot of pieces out, and I knew At Home got their truck in either on Wednesday or Thursday, but look at how many boxes of Halloween were set to be out. I knew right away that I would be coming back very soon to check out what was in all of this, though we did go up to an employee and ask a question or two about a couple items we might be looking for. If you've been here to see the other haunt hunts this year, I think you'll know at least one of the items that I am asking about, but otherwise a lot of the pieces that were out still were the same. They had put a couple pieces out, but again, I think their truck came maybe middle of the day, so there wasn't a ton new yet. They definitely had unpacked all of the skeletons. It seems like every single store just has like a plethora of skeletons. You could really do a spooky petting zoo or something if you wanted. Also, they had some Disney pieces and Haunted Mansion pieces this year at Home. I don't think I've ever seen At Home have licensed pieces besides Nightmare Before Christmas, so that surprised me. I did like the skull with the horns. They were also starting to add out the witchy section that is going to go on this aisle right here. Here's a closer look at some of the pieces they have. Of course, cauldrons, hats on books, and some black plants. Those are kind of classic for At Home. They have a lot of fake monster plants, including this one that looks like a baboon. I don't really understand that one that much, and I do not really like it. This was really nice, this spider, very classy looking vase, a couple signs with some words to them. Then they had a couple of the larger pieces, but I wasn't seeing the one that I was specifically looking for. But as you can see, they're getting some big pieces in, because what is that right there? That is the Groundbreaker, which is quite sought after this year. This is also a very sought after piece. It's like an angel skeleton crying on a grave. So cool. They also had a two-headed skeleton. That's one I've never seen before. I may have picked up something that I had spotted earlier. And actually, to my surprise, over by the checkout, they actually had the classic Halloween section. So it's rare for me to like any category more than the classic Halloween section, but at Home, unfortunately, the classic stuff is a bit more childish. I'm so into the Southern Gothic. But there were ghosts of all kinds, stacks of ghosts. There were a lot of skeletons with like bow ties and top hats. There were also some jack-o'-lantern pieces. I really liked the inside of this one with the scarecrow with a jack-o'-lantern head. Of course, they had grumpy pumpkins. Those are kind of everywhere. They also had the return of the harmonica playing skeleton, who was very loud, so I will spare your ears. They had this haunted house that was pretty cool, and the classic black cat on the jack-o'-lantern, which honestly in our area has been impossible to find the past few years, so I will say I maybe grabbed that. They had the skeleton's back and the pumpkin, and they had this really cute rug. They also had some glass pumpkins that I feel like they have each year, blankets of course, and tiny grandpa pumpkins too. There were a few of those straw doormats that had a cat face and a witch's shoes on them. They had some more childish looking bats and spider decorations. They of course had some more ceramic pumpkins and then some kind of garden pieces. This was actually a blow mold, but a little childish for me. I was kind of drawn to this candy corn stack. Something about it just wasn't working for me, but I do really like it. And a lot of people love this kind of like candy bucket ceramic piece. It's really clever, but it's not my style, unfortunately. This is a day of HALLO-WINs. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm hoping that our good luck continues in this HomeGoods. There was this large witch lady. They have these every year at HomeGoods, of course. There was a bored grandma skeleton. Count how many bored skeletons we've seen this year. There was also this set of skeletons taking a selfie together. I really don't know about that one. And this was all in Marshalls. There was almost nothing in our Marshalls yet, and it definitely wasn't stuff that I was very interested in, unfortunately. They had this really cool skull pillow, but the quality wasn't really there for me. And then they had a couple blankets finally coming out. One was a Snoopy blanket, and then one was this Skull and Crossbones blanket. It was $25, and it was very soft. Ghouls and ghosties. It's early in the morning. It is before 9 o'clock, and I am full of energy and I'm pumped, and there is a reason for it. Also, if you got a good eye and you're paying attention, you might realize that I am not in my normal car, and that is also for a good reason. So I needed a bigger car, so I borrowed it from my mom. I am going to pick up a very special item from At Home. Now, I have a feeling a lot of you can guess what it is. I'm fairly certain that if you guessed, you're correct. So I am on my way to pick up the 70-inch tall Grim Reaper. I am so freaking excited. So let me break this all down for you, because we kind of got wrapped up in it at home, and I didn't film as many updates like right after or during that I would have liked. I just did my regular kind of like haunt hunting footage, but there were a bunch of employees working on getting the Halloween out yesterday, and Ryan and I decided to ask one of them if they just happened to have the Reaper. Now, it did not say they did online, and like I said, my store already got a couple in earlier in the season, so I kind of was like, probably not, but we might as well guess, because like these are the people that are literally dealing with that stuff. They would know. And one of the employees looked it up in their inventory system and said that there was one that came in that morning, but it came in that morning and their inventory system does not update like super quickly, and it definitely could have already sold during the day, or it could have broken and then they just apparently like trash it out and get rid of it, obviously, if it's broken. The hopes were a little high, but they weren't certain. So this employee went to look. He kind of looked all over the inventory room and he said he couldn't find it. Then a couple of the employees kind of looked through all the boxes out on the floor and they could not find it out there either. So hopes were kind of dashed. Then one of the employees, the first one we talked to, the super, super, super nice woman, told me that she was going to take my phone number and she would call me within 24 to 48 hours as they get all the Halloween out. And she would tell me if or if not they found the Reaper, which I really appreciated, because if they didn't find it, it would be nice to know that they like for sure didn't have it. She ends up calling me last night at about 7 o'clock. Now, mind that we were there at probably like 5, so this was not a lot later. And she tells me that in the back room, she scoured and she freaking found one of the Reaper, and she had put it on hold for me, and she told everybody, like, do not sell this, do not let this go anywhere, this is for someone named Jack and Jack only. And she is the freaking like icon of this Halloween season. Like, I just kept saying to her on the phone, I'm like, I appreciate this so much. Thank you so much. I'm like a crazy Halloween person. This is like the number one thing I want of any store this year. Like, thank you so, so, so much. So she is so freaking amazing. She went beyond, above and beyond. So yes, I'm gonna like ask, how can I like contact corporate about you? How can I write reviews about you to get you like the cred that you deserve for this? Because she was so helpful, and like she offered to do all this. I didn't have to ask like, could you call me if you find it, or like, could you please check? Like, she offered to do all this. So she's amazing and I appreciate her so much, and I'm on my way to pick up my number one bucket list item of the season. I couldn't be more excited, guys. I will definitely show you this when I pack it up in the car. Now, normally I keep all my stuff for when I do HALLO-WINs, but obviously you guys know I was looking for this. It's kind of hard to keep a 70-inch item hidden. So yeah, you guys get to know this one in advance before the HALLO-WIN, but I couldn't be more excited. Last thing I'm gonna say before we pick it up, because I ramble so much, but it almost like, which is so weird, gives me like a sense of like relief of like, oh, okay, now I can relax. Now I can just have fun shopping. Like, there's nothing I need to like kill myself to hunt out. Like, there's a couple pieces still that I definitely really, really, really want to find, including a couple at home pieces like those ravens, but like this is the number one, and this would definitely be the hardest. So I get like this sense of relief. So I'm gonna go pick it up now. I will show you guys, and I am beyond freaking excited right now. Guys, he is freaking huge. Oh my gosh. I am deceased. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm literally just like sitting here making these like ee noises. Oh my gosh. I am so pumped. Here's the top of his head. It is freaking huge. It is so big. What is 70 inches? 70 inches is like almost 6 feet. Yeah, because 6 feet is like, it's like 72 inches. So it's literally like right around 6 feet. I am 6'4", but like I'm tall. So like this thing is literally almost my height. Luckily for like how big it is, it really wasn't that heavy. And I was able to get it in the car myself and everything. Oh my gosh. It's so cool how the eyes light up. I'm so excited. So Chelsea from At Home, she's actually from Rapid City. Chelsea from Rapid City At Home, you are a freaking icon. That's what I call South Dakota nice. Like she was beyond above and beyond. Oh my gosh, like I'm so pumped. I can't believe it. They're putting out like all the other Halloween like all day today. So honestly, if I could sneak back over like late tonight, like right kind of before close, I would love to. Like they already have added a couple more things out. I didn't get any footage because like I was just trying to get this guy and not be like a nuisance walking around with my camera. But I would love to come back here either really early tomorrow morning or tonight. At Home is finally bringing their stuff out. And as I said to Chelsea, At Home has the best Halloween stuff so far this year. Like it is so good. I was already seeing other stuff I wanted to grab, but I will just grab it when I come back. I'm so excited. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go drop this off at home and I will see you later in the day for probably some more haunt hunting. Hello ghouls and hello ghosties. We are on a mission right now. So it's not like the mission from this morning, but I mean, it's kind of like it at the same time. We are headed to At Home once again. And right now it is not obviously to pick up the Reaper because that's checked off the list. We are headed to see what the full-blown or nearly full-blown Halloween section looks like at Home. So right now it is actually like 8:15 p.m. and At Home closes at 9 p.m. So I am going to be cutting it really close, but that was kind of the point. I want to see as much as I can in the spooky section. Bucket list and wish list items that I have right now for At Home. Definitely top of the list is the Raven or the 2 Ravens / crows. They're like very heavy duty. They're kind of expensive, but they're apparently like really, really nice. And I think they can even be outdoors, which I love. So I'm hoping that I spot those. But otherwise, like, I don't even know. There's so much stuff at Home that I really like, especially in that Southern Gothic collection. I don't know. I just want to see. I just want to see it. That's the only thing that we have on the agenda for the rest of the day because it's so late. There's going to be a lot to see. So I don't really care that it's only one stop. Let's do this. I grabbed a cart right away because I knew that there were so many boxes of stuff that was going to be unpacked at this point. I just felt I had to have one because there's no way I'm leaving empty-handed. And would you looky there were a ton of new inflatables up, including a giant Frankenstein and a giant witch. I really liked the witch one. They've had the black cat for quite a few years. The witch I felt was the most kind of unique, like something I hadn't seen before. So of course I had to book it over to the Southern Gothic section just to see what they had. Some of this was the same as the other day, but let's take a closer look. This, I think, was new. It's this welcome, come in and rest your bones kind of hotel. The light wasn't working in it, but apparently it lights up on the inside. I love this hearse pillow. I don't really have a use for it, unfortunately, but it's such a cool, clever idea. I also really liked this Angel Grim Reaper, almost like tombstone situation. Super freaking cool and so detailed and intricate. This was a new pillow I hadn't seen. It's a bunch of crows in bird cages. The witch section basically had all of the stuff that we saw yesterday, but there were a couple pieces that maybe had been added out, like this black cat sitting on a pile of books, and this smaller man-eating plant type ceramic piece. Once again, I saw the baboon plant and got disturbed. There were also some smaller pieces over here, like another mirror, and then this standing witch's broom, which was pretty cool. There was also a witch's hat. This was a piece from last year that I kind of wanted. It's this very like classic vintage antique looking witchy candle. I love the art on the outside of it. Lots of tombstones had been added. These were more the like lighter weight foam ones, and I think they had added a few more pieces from the Haunted Mansion collection. There's quite a lot here this year from that. There were a lot of metal pieces in the witch section and a lot of signs with words all over them. There was a set of brooms hanging for broom parking. The Salem Brewery sign had come back, which I did buy last year, and this was this year's iteration of the Three Witches Hat metal garden sign. I like last year's more, but I do still really like the one from this year. As you can see, everything in the witch section has a red and black kind of theme to it. I really like that combo of colors. Honestly though, that combo of colors gives me more of like a Dracula vibe, but I love it either way. And then in the third aisle, there were just a couple outdoor pieces. That Skull and Crossbones looks like it was from the Science collection last year. They also had a return of these hanging kind of witch silhouettes made of cloth. And then of course, they had the plastic jack-o'-lanterns and the classic giant plastic jack-o'-lanterns. There was even a micro version of the classic, giant, iconic jack-o'-lantern. Y'all know I had to. Good morning, ghouls and ghosties. Now I know that it looks like I'm in some kind of polo and I'm going to like some kind of like job or corporate work, but I promise I'm not. I'm going to the gym right now actually. It's actually very early in the morning, earlier than I usually would start filming. Usually I kind of wait till I'm done with the gym, but we have some stuff to discuss today before we get haunt hunting, so I thought we would talk about that now. All right, so we had a bit of a today, as you saw on the bottom of the screen, it is the 15th of July, and as I said in the intro, and I've maybe said a couple other times in this video, the 14th was when Target was set to release their Hide and Eek, or at least preview it on their website, the Hide and Eek line. So they did, and guys, I do have some actual like positive news for once. I will say the Target Hide and Eek line is definitely better than last year. So I still don't know if I would consider it like as good as it's been in many other years past, but it is definitely better than last year. And if you guys remember from kind of the talk or treats and the stuff at the end of the season last year, I was not into Target much last year, which really sucked because Target always was like one of my favorite places to go haunt hunting, and I would always find a lot of stuff I wanted there. But this year, it definitely looks better. So there's this stuff that they're making, and I'm gonna have to make some room on the side of me for some pictures. But there's some stuff that they're selling that is this like kind of glow in the dark, like neon green, like green slime color stuff that gives very, very like 90s vibes. It's very like reminiscent of what I remember from my childhood in like the early 2000s and stuff. And I think that stuff is freaking awesome. I've seen a lot of posts online that a lot of people really like that stuff, and I am one of those people. They also are having some new neon signs. Now, I love the Target neon signs. I don't think I saw any that I'm gonna need to pick up this year, but I do love Target neon signs, and it's good to see that they're doing a couple new ones. As you can see by the ones I'm showing you, there's one that's kind of like a rock on skeleton, and that's another part of their theme this year. They're doing like rocker kind of punk band type stuff. It's hard to explain. And along with that, they're also doing like 80s workout, 80s athletic stuff. Like there's like a yoga pumpkin, I think. There's like a bunch of like very interesting pieces. That stuff I'm not really into, but I'm very happy that the neons have evolved into like a 90s neon, because last year I would say the neon was like pink and orange and more of like a pastel neon situation, but this year it's more of like a slime and like almost like a Nickelodeon neon. I don't know, I'm comparing this to the most random stuff. But otherwise there's some new blow molds as well. Now Target always has these like smaller blow molds. They're usually like battery operated, and they're maybe like a foot to a foot and a half tall, unlike where we think of like a 3 or 4 foot blow mold. But I do usually like those, and they are usually pretty good quality and pretty cute. There were a couple of those that I liked. Those I think sold pretty quick. You can order it, or you could at least if it was still there yesterday. And I did order a couple things, but there's definitely some stuff I do want to see in person before I would order them. But there are more things I'm interested in than the things I actually ordered. And then of course they brought back Lewis from last year, who was kind of like their TikTok trend pumpkin, the big giant, like, I don't know if he was either 12 feet or 10 feet, I think. He said his name was Lewis. He was like all popular online. And then they also of course added some family members for Lewis. So there's some other like animatronic pumpkin head guys that I think have names now too. But overall, I would say I have higher hopes for Target this year than I did last year. I would say that it is definitely an improvement, and I'm very excited to see this stuff in person, which is really nice because last year was just so disappointing at Target, I feel like. Enough blabber about hide and eek. I'm sure Target won't release their stuff until like September, as per usual, in store. Today, we're gonna be going to at least one HomeGoods. I think we're gonna go to a Joann Fabrics. This is another one of those days where I don't exactly have it fully planned where I'm gonna stop. So we're just gonna kind of see once again where the moon leads us. I feel like it's been a couple days since I went haunt hunting, so I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna go to the gym now. If you can't tell, I'm still like tired. I've probably edited this enough that you can't tell, but I have like messed up this clip like 100 times. It's not fully awake yet. So I will catch you guys when I'm done at the gym. Alrighty, ghouls and ghosties. So first up on the list, we're gonna be stopping at the Joann Fabrics that we first saw spooky sightings this year. Now, I feel like I just went there maybe like last Wednesday, so maybe like about a half a week ago, a little over. So I'm not expecting like a ton more, but I know there's a few things at Joann's that I maybe would still like to possibly see. I mean, I really should check the Joann Fabrics that's closest to me, because that's the one that's super big. They have a lot of room, and they like actively were putting stuff out. I don't know, maybe we'll work that in today. This year of haunt hunting is like so much less planned out than last year. I feel like we kind of just like wing it every time that we're gonna go. I know this, that we're gonna go to a HomeGoods that is kind of out here by my gym, and then we might go to another HomeGoods that is also kind of out here. Anyways, what I came on here to say was Joann Fabrics is first. So when you see the next clip of me wandering into Joann Fabrics, that's why. Y'all, we are done going to this Joann's. I swear, oh my gosh, the poor UPS dude. So this Joann's is locked again, and now even the UPS guy has to like stand at the door. I am absolutely done going to that Joann's. I'm not going there anymore, I swear. Oh my gosh, they like are never open, which I understand is probably like short staff, but like I just feel like every time I drive out here now, I'm totally wasting my time. So I'm done with this Joann's. Hold me to that. I am done. I declare I'm over that Joann. Goodbye to that Joann Fabrics. It's nice knowing you. I'm out. It's too bad we had to end on such a sour note. We started the season so well. You were the first store to have any Halloween in my area, and now I don't want to see you again. I'm not going to this one anymore. I swear. I have went up to a locked door so many times. It's also like 10:30 in the morning, and they're supposed to open at 9. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, they open at noon? I don't know. Whatever. I don't really care that much. I don't care. Fine. Whatever. I think I have quite a few HomeGoods in mind that I want to go to today. So off to HomeGoods with us. Near the entrance, we once again had a tall witch, though she kind of had like a split face with skeleton and regular witch face. There was also this giant skull with clearly light up eyes. I was trying to find the price on this, but I couldn't find it. It must be on the bottom, which, yeah, I'm not gonna pick that thing up. There were also the top hat skulls that we've seen all over the place. Bored grandma skeleton was back, and a lot of the busts that we've seen kind of all over the place. Lots of snake pieces, and I really liked that this crystal ball actually mixes itself up and looks very mystical. Very cool. The wooden signs are pretty expensive at HomeGoods. This one was $20, which I feel like is a little steep. Also, the grandpa pumpkins were alive and well here. And then there were these kind of trick-or-treater candy bowl head guys. We had some pumpkins, of course, and a lot more wood pieces. You know, I'm a sucker for a haunted house, but again, this was a little too steep. This was a really pretty plate, and they actually had it on an end stand of regular plates, but I can tell that this is meant to be for Halloween with the death moth on them. They were kind of by these bird plates, which I will say they look alike, but I don't think that's where they go. A new cart coming out had some haunted houses. It also had these kind of rattan spiders. There were some spiderweb candle stands that were pretty cool. A hanging spider thing that says boo. Some metal spiders that you must put on your walls, and then some spider candle stands. There were a bunch of blankets here, and I don't think any of them were new besides maybe this pink jack-o'-lantern one. Otherwise, we've seen them all. Once again, this one was $25. A lot of the blankets are this year. There were a lot of new carts coming out with Halloween stuff on it, so I was trying my best to work around the employees and not get in trouble or be annoying. There was this plushy, floral-eyed skeleton. They also had the return of the cauldron melting skeleton candle. It was the same price as last year at $10. There was kind of more crystal skull candle stands and more fake candles. This giant box was really hard to get a view of, but it actually had another mirror in it, and this was probably my favorite thing in this entire store today was this kind of Fair Isle Halloween pillow. I love the print of this. It's $25, so I did skip it today, but I could see myself picking it up at some point if I continue to see it. To greet me when I entered were two skeletons just kind of chilling and hanging out right by the spooky section, and there was quite a lot to see in this spooky section. So there were a few of these storage books that I hadn't seen before, like this vintage looking witch one. There was also a giant grumpy pumpkin, and there was this kind of light up book display thing. It almost looks like a scientific type shelf, but apparently it lights up on the inside and there's no way to open it. I was really trying to figure this thing out, but there were no batteries in it, which kind of sucked. Otherwise on this stand, a lot of stuff that we've seen before, the basket witch hats and the top hat skulls. So I took down the giant book thing, and I still couldn't figure out how to get it working. I actually ended up looking it up and finding an eBay listing, of course, with someone marking it way up. It had a demo on it, so that was the positive there, and it didn't impress me that much. I mean, not enough to get. It was really cool. It makes kind of creepy noises and flashes lights all over. There's this guy that talks and says to, like, stay away. Not something I'm gonna get, but it's cool, and it's cool to see it at HomeGoods, I feel like. On this end stand, there were a couple pieces that are actually quite sought after, like this witch sitting on this vintage moon. These are quite popular, which I can understand. I love the art style of the moon, but otherwise it's not really something that I need. And I found this storage book, and I'm only going to tell you this because somebody asked in the last haunt hunt, but that is the book that I have been looking for at HomeGoods. Their aisle was full of spooky stuff. Of course, majority we've seen before, but there was so much here. It's almost like this location got a whole different set of the storage books because I didn't see very many that I had seen before, and I saw a ton that I hadn't seen before. Kind of cool. I don't know if that's a thing and they get different ones, but it was really cool to see some different ones. And of course, to find the one that I was looking for. Okay, of all the metal folk pieces, I think I found my favorite one so far, and it is this jack-o'-lantern guy who's sitting on a tombstone. He kind of looks like Jack Skellington, and he's so dapper. I also love his face. I still didn't get him, but I like him the most of all of them. More nutcrackers. The HomeGoods nutcrackers are super nice, whereas the ones at St. Michael's are not. There was also this giant glass black and white pumpkin. I feel like that could work with a lot of people's decor. I was trying not to spend too much time showing you guys the stuff that we have seen before, and I was really trying to dart through and find the stuff that we hadn't seen yet. Again, a lot of these books were ones that we hadn't seen before. That heavy-duty cauldron was at this location too, and I looked at the bottom, and actually it looks like it's made of painted terracotta. And we hadn't seen this weird giant metal pumpkin. They also had an end stand with a bunch of mugs. I really liked the metallic, iridescent, slick look of some of these. I have plenty of mugs, so I'm not going to grab any of these, but it was cool to see. They did have the kitchen towels that were on my wish list. They're so freaking cute. And they even had some Joanna Parker coming out. It is Luna. I love Luna. Luna is one of my favorite Joanna Parker characters. $13 is a steal for a set of 4. I was hunting for some more Joanna Parker, but unfortunately, no luck. On to Marshalls with us. This is a standalone Marshalls, so my hopes are high, and unfortunately there was only this one stand of spooky stuff, though there was something that I was very happy to see, and that is this cloche with a ghost in it. So freaking cute. I guess there was one other stand, but it was pretty sparse. There were some picture frames and of course more storage books and some standing headless horsemen. On the other side, there were just a couple blankets and there were some snow globes and pillows, all of which I think we've seen before. Now onto a standalone TJ's that we haven't been to yet this year. There was a full section in the back. There were a lot of ghosts I could see right off the bat. These two ghosts were my favorite. I just like the shape of them and they were a really nice quality. This one is a really unique shape. He's kind of like blowing in the wind or almost like leaping. This skeleton by a bookcase reminded me of SpongeBob in his library room. TJ's had a lot of dog pieces of different breeds. No Frenchies or pugs, unfortunately. Just a Boston Terrier, which is pretty close to a Frenchie, but it doesn't look like my dog. back to our home base, HomeGoods and Marshalls. The Marshalls was the one that had almost nothing when we went in last time. There was still not very much, but they had added a couple things like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and this skeleton candle holder that I think we've seen each year. There were a couple new dish towels, though we'd seen them at a different location. So let's just go to HomeGoods because I think HomeGoods has more promise. Sure enough, there were some new pieces coming out, though they aren't new to us. They are new for the store this year, like the Dapper Pumpkin Head guy. There were some glass pumpkins, ceramic pumpkins, and even these wooden, almost like trick-or-treater boxes. I think they've just been moving stuff around because a lot of this has been at this store so far this year. The only new thing I think I spotted was this skeleton crawling out of a book whose eyes light up and this rattan spider. These were definitely new to the store this year, though we have seen them in past years. They're kind of spring-painted ceramic jack-o'-lanterns. They actually can hold a candle in them too. They're really, really pretty, and to me, these would make a great all-year-round piece. There were also some more haunted house snow globes. And then they had this cookie jar of Snoopy's Halloween. It was quite pricey. It was $25. That seemed a little high. Well, ghouls and ghosties, it is the 16th today, and I don't want to get your hopes up, so we'll cut to the chase right now. This is the last clip of this Haunt Hunt episode 2 of Haunt Hunting. We're ending it right here, right now, but I am going to leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger. I'm actually driving right now to a spooky mission, haunt hunting wise. I've got a couple stops and they are not very close to my home, and there's one item in particular that I know I will be getting when I get to these locations because they're a pickup order. But that's all I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to have to nail bite, and you're going to have to be patient and wait for next week's Haunt Hunt episode and come on this adventure with me. This is like the longest I think I've driven to pick up a specific item when haunt hunting. So I will see you guys next week to go on my journey and to see what Home Depot has in store for us this year. That's kind of going to kick off next week's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm super excited for the next one already, and I hope you guys are too. So I will see you next week, ghouls and ghosties. Goodbye.